What's up, guys? It's a Progressive Thinker here today with Mahmoud. And so this is the third edition of the weekly Hangouts I do every Wednesday. So today we are just going to talk about the primaries yesterday for the Republicans in Nebraska and in West Virginia, and for the Democrats in West Virginia. And then last week's primary in Indiana, since a lot has happened with all these primaries. So I guess you want to just start off talking by giving the results.
Sure. So Bernie Sanders pulled off a win in West Virginia yesterday. He won by 11% over Hillary Clinton. Doesn't really mean anything. He only got like 3 more delegates than she did because of the way it's.
But still.
Yeah, I guess, but not really.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump, of course, won in both primaries in Nebraska and West Virginia because he is running by himself. No one else is running with him right now.
Yeah.
So, of course, he won those 2 primaries.
Yeah, and obviously last week, Cruz, actually the night of the Indiana primary, where he got beat pretty bad. He got beat by
18 points.
He dropped out, and then the day after, John Kasich dropped out, although he's completely irrelevant. It's not like he was had any chance of winning anyway.
Yeah, I had no clue why he was even in the race up until that point. It made no sense.
Yeah, it was just a waste of money, and I doubt anyone would even give him any kind of position. I mean, maybe, but I doubt Trump will give Kasich any position in his cabinet.
I mean, I think Trump would want Kasich as a possible VP.
True.
Because he's from Ohio, which is a battleground state.
Yeah, and
But I don't know if Kasich would accept it, though.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought, I was just thinking, like, seem to dislike each other a lot, but
yeah.
So what do you think of the whole Cruz thing? Cruz dropping out, because Cruz up until this point was Trump's most like
competitive
his
adversary.
Big threat. Yeah.
I think with Cruz doing so poorly, and I think this is kind of interesting because Kyle Kozlowski of Secular Talk was talking about this earlier today, saying that Ted Cruz is positioning himself to run again in 2020. And he says that Cruz is going to do even worse in 2020. And I agree with him completely. Because I think with how badly Cruz lost and the fact that he lost evangelicals, which is supposed to be like his firewall, just shows that the so-called moral majority that became such a big presence among the right in America in the 1980s with Jerry Falwell. I think that portion of the right, like the fundamentalist Christian portion of the right, is dying out.
Yeah. They're not the majority. Yeah. Yeah, I think like the whole, Glenn Beck televangelist right is it's definitely dying. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does in 2020. Because I really don't it'll probably be Cruz and then probably other establishment Republicans, and who knows, maybe, well, Trump if he becomes the president. So actually,
if Trump becomes the president, it's not just going to be like an incumbent versus, like a whole bunch of Democrats in the primaries. I think that there's going to be challengers to Trump if he does become president.
Yeah, well, he's very disliked by the Republican establishment and the elite in this country. So that definitely is possible. Yeah, but I don't know. I really don't know who has a chance of beating him.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's funny because they're also talking about doing some like third party thing. And names like Mitt Romney came up, which is ridiculous because Mitt Romney lost really badly in the last general election and will get destroyed in another. If he's running third party, he's not going to do anything. I don't think he would win a single state. I don't think he would even do enough to like electoral votes away from Trump or Clinton if he runs third party.
He's incredibly unpopular. I think this whole like social liberal, fiscal conservative kind of right is like, more moderate Republicans is also a thing that's dying out. Like
Yeah.
these people see, like, people talk about a lot how like a lot of people hold those positions, but that actually it seems to be quite a small group who exists mainly on the East Coast, like in, around New York and Washington, and then maybe on
Yeah.
the West Coast. But yeah, other than that, these people really aren't that strong at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's the first election, first primary election where the Republican base won it, and they're
Yeah.
going to keep rejecting these establishment Republicans like Mitt Romney over and over. And they think that running a third party is something that the Republican base wants. No, it's not. They
Oh,
got the guy
yeah.
that they want. That's the reason why they voted for him.
Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, they either just can't see it, or they're refusing to see it because they don't want to have to adopt these positions that they're.
They don't give a damn about the voters. Like, it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, yeah. They don't want to adopt these, anti-free trade, anti-economic elite positions that are obviously not
Yeah.
going to be liked by the people that are really propping them up in the first place.
Yeah. So on the Democratic side, do you think that if Sanders is able to win at least the majority of these final primaries coming up, do you think that'll be enough to force a contested convention, or do you think that he will bail out? Because I've heard a lot of people saying that he's now vying for VP spot,
Ooh,
which,
for Clinton?
yeah, that's what I heard a lot of people say. Because
Ooh.
yesterday he did more attacking Donald Trump than attacking Hillary Clinton on her positions.
Yeah, I mean that's I'm not sure exactly what he's thinking about doing. I mean, if he's trying to do that, it's a smart thing in terms of keeping the executive away from Donald Trump. But
Yeah,
um,
it's going to lose him a lot of his supporters, though, I think.
yeah, that's I think I was reading something that was like saying that 33% of Bernie supporters are essentially like the Bernie or bust people, like the people
Yeah,
who are not going to vote for Hillary Clinton under any conditions, who would actually rather vote for Donald Trump. Like even
yeah,
Susan Sarandon was like talking about how she would probably, or like she might vote for Donald Trump over Bernie Sanders, and she's someone who's like really liberal. I mean, over Hillary Clinton. Sorry. So
yeah.
yeah, actually, I mean, it would probably help because at least some more people would vote for Hillary than if her VP was some neoliberal establishment Democrat. But yeah, I don't know how that would affect his support. Probably not good. Um, but do I think there'd be contestant convention? Well, how close do you think Bernie Sanders would have to get within Hillary's like delegate like percentage, like a vote amount, in order for there to be like a possibility of a contested convention?
Has to win all of the remaining primaries by at least 60% if you wanted to compete in order to get to a contested convention. That is, unless the superdelegates change their mind and pick Sanders, which I think is doubtful.
Yeah. Um, I don't understand the contested convention thing. Does that just mean that he would have the same amount or more delegates than Clinton?
Okay, so the contested convention basically is saying that if Hillary Clinton doesn't get the right amount of delegates on the first ballot, which she's going to get because she has superdelegates, she has like these 500 superdelegates, which puts her way over the mark,
Right.
which I
She's
think is
like, I think she's less than 200 away or something like that.
155 away right now,
Yeah.
with the superdelegates included. So yeah, she's going to get that on the first ballot as long as those 500 superdelegates remain on her ticket. But the thing is, if she doesn't get on the first ballot, then all of these bound delegates that she has, they can change their mind on the second ballot, and they can go to Bernie Sanders, and that can keep happening for all of these different rounds on all of these different ballots until somebody gets the what is it, 238 or something, something like that.
Okay, all right. So, and who
Yeah.
exactly are like the pledged delegates?
I don't know. The pledged delegates are just the people who have to vote on the first ballot for the person who they're assigned to.
Right. The
But yeah.
yeah. The only reason I ask is because like I think it would.
Well, I mean, well, each candidate is allowed to pick delegates, and then the voters have to vote for the delegate.
Right. Right. Okay.
So if more Bernie Sanders supporters vote for his delegate, then that person will be the delegate. But it doesn't matter if they're bound, because even if they are Bernie Sanders supporter, they still have to vote for Clinton because they're bound to it.
Yeah.
But if it goes to a second ballot, then they can vote for Bernie Sanders.
Okay. Right. I'm
So
just.
Hillary Clinton can basically have like 60% of her bound delegates can be Bernie Sanders supporters, but they still have to vote for her on the first ballot.
And why did they have to vote for her? Because more people in their states voted for Clinton.
Just because they're bound. I mean, I don't really understand why. That's just the way it works.
Okay, yeah, the system's very confusing. Like, because
Yeah.
Ted Cruz like won Colorado without even winning the plurality. So like,
Yeah, there wasn't even a vote in Colorado.
yeah, right, right.
He just like went to the convention, and the Colorado Republican convention was just like, "Yo, you guys need to support me," and they're like, "All right." That's basically what happened. There wasn't even a vote, like not a single casted vote in Colorado.
That's
And
ridiculous.
yeah, he got a lot of unbound delegates too, Ted Cruz.
Unbound delegates. So like, who would those be?
Those are just people who can, pick whoever they want on the first ballot.
Okay, wow. All right. Yeah. So I think you were right
And
about this.
like there's certain contests in the Republican primaries, like Pennsylvania and West Virginia, where the majority of the delegates are unbound, so they can just pick whoever the hell they want.
So
Even if
then,
like the overwhelming majority of the people pick a certain candidate, they can still pick whoever they want on the first ballot.
which party has like the like more undemocratic system? Because I thought it was the Democrats at first because
Yeah,
the delegates make up.
I think it's probably the Republicans.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I mean it's similar, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the Democrats just because there's just more super delegates than there are unbound delegates on the Republican side.
Mhm.
But still, like the fact that you can have the unbound delegates on the Democratic side, you know, they're not liable to any constituents. Like they're not liable to any voting constituents. They aren't. They don't have to represent their district or whatnot because they're just random people. But when it comes to the unbound delegates on the Republican side, these are people who were elected by the congressional districts. So
Right.
if their congressional district supports Donald Trump with 70% of the vote, they can still pick Ted Cruz on the first ballot if Ted Cruz is still running.
Wow.
So, that's kind of fucked
That is
up.
pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you were right about the 60% number because that's what I heard like from Nate Silver. I don't know if you know who that is,
Yeah.
but he's like like the 538 guy
Hmm.
who's been like doing these predictions. And yeah, I really don't think for
He's
Sanders.
really biased in Clinton's.
Oh yeah, totally. He's been wrong on a bunch of things, so it's hard to
Yeah.
even trust him. And people point to him as like the best, predictor for these types of things. But I really actually don't think he is.
I think real clear politics is the best.
Yeah, that's actually what I use the most too, like before primaries to see like likely results. But not just Nate Silver, but I've been hearing a lot of places 60% is the number. And I mean, what's coming up is like, there's Kentucky, Oregon, North Dakota, California, Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, South Dakota, Washington, D.C. So actually, I think he might win.
Hmm.
I think he'll win Kentucky and Oregon, North Dakota, Montana, South Dakota. And I'm not sure about New Mexico, New Jersey, or California. What do you think of those states?
He's not going to win New Jersey or California. No way.
Really, you don't think he'll win
Maybe he
California?
can win New Mexico. No, he's not going to win California. No,
Why do you
no
say
way.
that? I mean, there's a lot of the only reason I just question it is because there's a lot of liberal Democrats over there.
The only place where there's a lot of liberal Democrats is in, the San Francisco area,
Uh huh.
the
Okay.
Berkeley area,
Right.
and maybe the Los Angeles area. Other than that, not really. I think it's going to be because most of the Democrats there, they're like Latinos.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
it's going to be more like Arizona, which Hillary Clinton won.
Or New Mexico, which I think will also probably go to Hillary Clinton.
I also saw that she's leading in Oregon by a lot, which is surprising to me.
Really?
Yeah, the last poll I saw, she's up by like 11% in Oregon. But
That's
she was also up by like 11% in Michigan, which she lost, so who knows?
yeah. No, actually, 15%. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, this election's really like just hard to tell with everything. You never know.
Like Oregon, the Democrats are mostly like white progressives. So
Yeah,
you would
that's
think that Bernie Sanders will win it.
right. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a state like almost like Wisconsin or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about with the elections?
I guess we could just talk about the general election now. What do you think would be possible VP selections for Trump and Hillary Clinton, and what do you think will happen in the debates and shit like that?
Oof. Okay. So for Trump, do you think it's do you think it's possible he would pick Sarah Palin?
Well, I saw an interview that Sarah Palin gave a couple of days ago. She said that she would be a liability for him, and she wouldn't want to like burden his campaign. So I don't think that's gonna happen. Because
Yeah.
like she herself is saying that no,
Wow.
like I'm going to totally fuck it up. I think Donald Trump is such a wild card. You don't know what he might do, but I think he's going to go on the smart side and pick a more moderate Republican, not somebody who's too much like himself, like a Ben Carson or Sarah Palin, anything like that.
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to pick either Newt Gingrich or Chris Christie. Because with Chris Christie, he's a governor. He's not like a senator or a congressman or anything like that. So he doesn't have that whole Washington insider thing going with him that the voters hate so much.
That's true, but he does have the whole bridge thing. But I don't
Oh yeah,
know.
true.
I don't know how much the Trump supporters would really care about that. The only thing is
Yeah.
just like the moderate Republicans who Trump would want to get. I'm not. I don't know.
But
I don't
isn't
know.
Chris Christie technically a moderate Republican? I mean,
Yeah, I would say he is. Yeah, but I don't really know that many moderate Republicans. Of a thing that people, that's more of a voters, a section of the voters that isn't really as big as people say it is.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
so,
don't think there are many moderate Republicans. I think most of the Republicans are uh, fringe right. Not fringe right because it's most of them, but I think most of them are like right wingers.
yeah,
Not moderate.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't really know many of them, so I don't know how they feel about Christie.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that Trump needs, he needs a lot of the support of all of these different groups, like there's a group of evangelicals that are going against him right now, and they're saying that if he picks a VP who agrees with them on social conservative issues, then they would support him. But like I was saying earlier, I don't know if that whole moral majority thing is still going strong with the voters
Oh
because a
yeah,
lot
no,
of the evangelical voters picked Trump over Cruz because Trump represents their economic beliefs, and apparently their economic beliefs are more important than you know their social beliefs.
social.
Yeah,
Yeah, the population that has emphasizes the social issues and the whole moral bullshit. I don't think that's many people at all.
yeah.
Um, Now, as for Hillary Clinton, since she's like most likely going to be the nominee, um, hmm, Do you think she would really pick Sanders?
I think if he comes to her and says, "Can I be your VP?" she would almost certainly do it because the party is divided, and she totally definitely wants his supporters. You know, she won't get most of them because I think a lot of them will go away from Sanders, thinking that he betrayed them. But yeah, she would do it if he comes to her. But if he doesn't, and if he like tries to get to a contested convention and like fights her all the way through, then I think she'll probably pick. You know, it's kind of funny because Elizabeth Warren was like really going after Trump on Twitter the other day, which a lot of people were saying, "Oh man, she's trying to like be Clinton's VP by doing this." So I don't know if she's interested in doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she would pick a progressive like Elizabeth Warren, but I think she's most likely going to pick, like a moderate, uh, big Wall Street supporting establishment Democrat like a Cory Booker.
Booker, yeah.
Yeah,
We were talking about
she's
that
going. She's going to pick a guy that is like possibly black or Latino and is an establishment Democrat. So it's going to be like Julian Castro or Cory Booker, like one of those two, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's totally going to do like the whole identity politics thing.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I got a black person. Oh, look, I got a Latino person on my ticket. So, I'm totally going to get those votes.
We're the party of the minorities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see her doing that since she's been doing the whole identity politics thing already. Yeah, I mean, maybe Elizabeth Warren, that would make sense. I could see Elizabeth Warren accepting it because, this entire race, really, she's been, very neutral on, Hillary Clinton versus Bernie Sanders. She hasn't really been criticizing Clinton at all, I don't think. She's been going after Trump and the Republicans the entire time.
Yeah.
So I don't think she would be opposed to a VP nomination.
Yeah, that is interesting. You would think that she would have supported Bernie Sanders a long time ago, but she's been really neutral and has really taken herself out of the race. And as soon as it shows that Hillary Clinton is most likely going to be the nominee, she starts to go after Donald Trump, which is
Yeah.
So I think she really is trying to be the VP. But I don't know. I think Hillary Clinton wants somebody who's going to agree with her 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't think she wants somebody who's going to be like in her ear like a mosquito, saying, "Oh no, you have to be more progressive on this issue. Oh no, you can't do this like military intervention. Oh no, you can't bail out Wall Street again."
Right. Yeah. She seems like she wants to be in control. She hates criticism. Yeah. So, but I think the Elizabeth Warren, like trying to be Hillary Clinton's VP and probably more so taking Hillary Clinton's side in the primary race, I think is a lot more of a tactical thing than, like an actual, like she really likes Hillary Clinton more than Bernie Sanders because obviously like her positions are much closer to Sanders's than Clinton's. I think she just, she thinks that, possibly if she supported Sanders and Clinton ended up being the nominee or even the president, she would be kind of like outcasted by the rest.
It would hurt her political career. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like I was saying, like, and I agree with you that it's a strategic thing. I think Hillary Clinton might also agree with us. And that's why I think she may not pick Elizabeth Warren. She may pick somebody who is going to be on her camp, somebody like a Cory Booker.
Yeah.
I think Cory Booker is going to be a VP. I'm going to say this now. Cory Booker is most likely going to be a VP.
All right, your prediction? Okay.
Yeah, that's my prediction. I'm about 80% sure that Cory Booker will be her VP.
That would be fucking awful.
I fucking hate Cory Booker. Oh my god.
Yeah, that guy, like, he's turned schools and
he's worse than Obama.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. He's like, he's almost as bad as Chris Christie. Like he's doing the same type of stuff that Christie is. Like he turning schools into like high-rise apartments.
Yeah.
Like, he's like a total corporate Democrat. Who are the other like possible like identity politics people Clinton would choose. Like there's Cory Booker, Julian
Yeah,
Castro.
I heard about Julio Castro out of Texas.
Uh-huh.
He's also a corporate Democrat. Uh,
Yeah.
um, there's another guy, but he's a little bit more progressive. I think Tom Perez is his name.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I don't think she's gonna pick a woman.
Why not?
Because she's already a woman, you know. She thinks that she has that part down. So I think it's more, she actually has like really high negatives amongst men. So I think she's most likely going to pick a man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think I don't know who said it. I can't. Maybe it was like Jeff Daniels or someone, but someone was saying that like 2/3 of men support Trump over Hillary.
Yeah,
Is that true?
I don't know if it's. I think it was like. I think it was over 50%.
Yeah, it is.
It was the majority. It was definitely the majority. I don't
Yeah,
know if it was 2/3, but
yeah.
it was
That
definitely the
seems a
majority.
little high.
Yeah.
Men. Oh shit! Hold on, I'll be right back.
All right.
Just doing something. I'll be done soon. All right, so I have to go in a few minutes, but is there anything you'd like to talk about in the last couple minutes?
No, that was about it. I think we covered everything.
All right, so yeah, to sum it up, Cory Booker, your 80% prediction as Hillary Clinton's VP.
I'm actually going to raise it to 85%.
85%, okay.
Yeah.
I would say I would go like 55% on it because I think it could probably happen, but I'm not exactly sure. It could be some other, minority corporate Democrat. And then,
But I mean, he's been the most vocal supporter of Hillary Clinton. He's really well known. I think he's kind of liked amongst the moderate establishment Democrats.
mhm.
You know, so I think there's a really high chance.
Yeah, he's probably the most likely minority corporate Democrat you'd pick, or the most likely person in general, actually.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, so Hillary Clinton's probably going to be the nominee. It's kind of obvious at this point. Donald Trump obviously going to be the nominee at this point. He's probably going to pick someone who's more moderate. Bernie Sanders, we think, is trying to be Clinton's VP, although I doubt she would pick him because of how much he's still challenging her. I think he's going to take it all the way to the convention, and she's not going to like that. So yeah, I think that sums it all up.
Yeah. Also, the death of the Christian right
Yes.
in the Republican Party.
Yeah, the Ted Cruz people are dying out, and you're not really going to see many more evangelical people on the right. I think the Trumpian Jacksonian right's what I called it in the title of the video is rising, and I think somewhat of a libertarian right is rising too. But I feel like the libertarian and Trumpian right are somewhat mixed because they're all kind of like anti-SJW.
I've seen so many libertarians support Donald Trump, which makes no sense because of his economic beliefs.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like totally against their economic beliefs.
Yeah, but I think the whole like anti PC crowd is just so mixed up that they don't even give a fuck about the economics. They're just like,
they
you got to stop that political correctness.
just want to piss people off.
Got to stop those feminazis.
Yeah. Got to stop people from having equal rights.
Yeah.
All right. So, that sums it all up. So we'll do this next week, and we'll see you guys later.